I know I shouldn't care. When I was with my ex, like, she didn't really contribute to the relationship as much as I did. Like, if I sent her a snap on Snapchat, she would just send a chat. If I sent her a video, she would
Okay.
send a chat. Or a voice memo. She never sent snaps back. She never sent videos back. She never wanted to get on the phone ever. We didn't FaceTime because she had an Android, but she never wanted to video call on Snapchat ever. There was always some excuse on why she couldn't. And I stuck through that relationship for about 3 to 4 months. Because I thought maybe she was just like getting used to
There's
everything
a
and we were going to be
fucking
more comfortable
airplane
with
coming
each
overhead.
other. But no. We eventually ended up splitting up because I didn't feel like she was putting in 100% like I was. We ended on somewhat good terms, so we still followed each other on social media. So imagine my surprise today when I went on stories. I was going through stories and I saw her FaceTiming, I guess, this new guy she's talking to. It wasn't FaceTime, it was WhatsApp, and they were video chatting on there. But it's like, in our relationship, she never asked me if I wanted to video chat on WhatsApp. She was asleep, which is something that she told me she hated. She was like, I don't go to sleep on like blah 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 blah. And like I feel like if we FaceTime, I'm gonna go to sleep and I don't like falling asleep. So she was asleep with this guy. And he was like, she's so beautiful. And then she reposted it and was like, haha, I hate him. And it just threw me for a loop because if it was over the phone, I never saw her whatsoever.
So like I think that this is something people should really understand. This is a very important thing to understand. Okay. So we're okay. When it comes to a relationship, the best way that you're supposed to operate in a relationship is this. You date somebody, you go through the motions, and then as you date them, it probably isn't going to work out at first. You figure out what they did wrong or what you did wrong, and then you set new boundaries moving forward and you put more effort in. So if they broke up and one of the reasons was, from Acrello's perspective, she wasn't being attentive enough, basically, and one of the ways she wasn't being attentive was through not Snapchatting or video chatting with them, I would imagine he expressed that to her. And so now the relationship is over. And then you move on to a new relationship, because I'm sure there are other problems than that, right? Like that's beginning, like relationships can be tough. And now she went into a new relationship, and now she's doing that thing because she's trying to be a better, more equitable person. She's trying to be a better person to date and a better person to love. That's her personal growth. And it sucks because Acrello didn't get that attention. But also, like, that's what you're supposed to do when you leave a relationship. You're supposed to better yourself, and you're supposed to become like a better person, somebody that people want to date. And that's what she apparently did, and she apparently was for this new guy. That's not a negative reflection on Acrello. He just made her a better person. But that's what you're supposed to do when you date. You're supposed to self-reflect. And you're supposed to figure out why it didn't work out, what you could have done better, what they could have done better, what boundaries you could have set, et cetera, et cetera. So, it's sad for Acrello, but it's understandable.
Ever. She just didn't send her face to me. And so then right after our relationship, this guy, she's just automatically FaceTime. It threw me for a loop. And yeah, like, that's my ex. I probably shouldn't care too much about that. But it's just, it just angered me because it's like, I put in all this effort trying to make sure things were okay, stressing out about this just to see that. Like, why couldn't I get that same level of decency? It sucks to dedicate
Was this like a fucking Gatorade commercial? What the fuck? Gatorade. It makes you less sad.
so much time to somebody and not get anything back, and then you immediately
Gatorade. It fuels your tears. I'm sorry, Acrello. You know I love you, buddy. Hydrate yourself so you can cry.
right after y'all break up,
Gatorade. Hydrate yourself.
they treat
Cry.
the person they're with like the greatest thing since sliced bread, and you didn't get any of that. Like, I think one of my biggest pet peeves is just lost time. Like, I could have spent that time doing something else. I could have spent that time.
Well, that's also like that's another thing you have to understand. Like when you again, like if you look at dating as like a training course almost, and you like learn from your dating, again, setting boundaries, what you did wrong, what they did wrong. This way you can set better boundaries and find people, and you know your type more. Dating is never a waste of time. That means that like dating is literally, it's you experiencing the world and figuring out who you're more attuned with by going through experience. So you shouldn't look at dating as like a waste of time. Look at it as like a training course almost.
Time on somebody else who actually wanted it. I could have spent that time providing content for my fans, but instead I used that time to get nothing back in a relationship. That's great though. I'm happy for you. I guess that's just the way life is, you know? I know I shouldn't care.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. But that's kind of life, my man. Let's see.
Everybody that DM'd me, that commented, that texted me asking if I was okay, I want to thank you. Yeah, I think I'll be fine. This has been the worst week of my life. I apologize for leaving without an explanation. I just dipped out. A lot of people think it was about my ex, and that definitely has something to do with it. But it's more than that, and I'll explain it. I know a lot of people aren't even going to watch this video, and partly that's what this video is about. First of all, I want to explain how I've been doing. I was in about a 3-day deep depression. I didn't answer any calls. I didn't answer any texts. I just sat in sorrow on my bed. Maybe I went outside to run. And let's get something clear. I'm still depressed. I didn't magically become undepressed in 3 days.
This is one of those unfortunate parts of life where, like, you know, you kind of have to, these are these things in life. This is what happens in life, is like you experience a particular thing, and then you realize how like shitty it is. It makes you feel like shit, and then you move through it, and then you're stronger for moving through it. And that's one of those things, you know what I mean? Like, we've all been there. We've all felt like real dog shit when we've seen like an ex treat like the person that they're with better than somebody else. But like, that's one of the things where you have to like, that's where you have to develop the mentality of like, okay, somebody else's success doesn't matter to me, and you have to like realize like, okay, that person doing better, you know, or seemingly doing better doesn't matter to me. You also have to understand that people put the best of themselves on social media. You know, you just have to have the right mindset of understanding like that person's not doing. I would assume they're not doing it to talk to provoke Acrello or to make him feel bad. They're doing it because they're trying to grow and be a better person. And sometimes, unfortunately, sometimes in life, you are somebody else's supporting character. Sometimes in life, you're the person that makes another person better. And it kind of sucks and it's shitty because like you benefit less than they do from interacting with them. But that also needs to be a part of your life, because that needs to be a lesson to you as well, in identifying the people that are worth your time and your effort and your love and your energy, you know? You just have to you have to look for a lesson in everything in life, or you're going to be more depressed. If you can put a positive spin on it, you'll be less depressed about it. And that's the best thing that you can do.
I'm just not in that dark of a mindset at this moment. The driving force was my ex, though. That's true. I wasted a bunch of time in our relationship thinking that it was going to come around and, you know, she would actually put in effort. So to see that the moment that we break up and she gets with this new guy and she's just instantly putting in 100% effort, it really just tore me.
Again, that's what she's showing. You know what I mean?
Pieces. You feel like you wasted time, and I wasted 3 months of my life. If you want to hear the full story of that, there's a video on my page. Another driving force that pushed me into a deep depression was TikTok.
I'll tell you, dog. TikTok will fuck you up, man. You guys don't realize it. It sounds so first world problem-y because it kind of is, but TikTok will fuck you up, man. TikTok, it's an interesting thing to be on TikTok, because, you know, you come on here and as a creator, you obviously want to maintain your popularity. Like, that's the whole point. You want to maintain your entertaining factor. But things happen that make you less entertaining in the real world, and then they'll have a negative impact on your content, and then your content will have a negative impact on you, and then you'll have a negative impact on your content, and you play this back and forth, and it takes a long time to click out of it and to centralize it again. You know, I've had my periods of ups and downs. My periods of downs are usually self-inflicted. Like, I'll get canceled, but it's the mindset that I get put in by getting like put under like a particular amount of hate that makes me feel that way. And like, whereas I won't be canceled if I just ignore it, which is something that you have to learn. And everybody has different experiences with the way that the app does overall. Like, I'm obviously much more controversial figure, so I'm going to be canceled more. And that's going to be my struggle with TikTok. But Acrello has like his own independent struggle where maybe I don't know it specifically, maybe he's just not hitting it or something. And like, sometimes you get hit, and sometimes it's just the algorithm. Sometimes honestly, people are busy. Sometimes you get hit with the fact that people are busy, and there's celebrities on the app that take away your views. I know that sounds silly, but like, let's say the average view time is 50 minutes on TikTok, which I think is true. Let's say it goes down to 40 minutes for a week. right? Let's say people are super busy. I don't know. Maybe everybody, it's fucking free cake week. I don't know. Something happens. You get the fundamentals. And then at the same time, fucking everybody from iCarly decides to join the app. Well, all of a sudden, they're getting views. They're going to take up views. And they're going to eat up views. You're going to get less views because there's less people on the app consuming less. And all of a sudden, you're like, oh, man, what did I do wrong? Like, I thought I was doing okay. And you get like this really bad feedback loop. And it fucks you up, right? Now, I know that's a first world problem, not a big deal, but especially if you're trying to make a career out of it, it can really hit you hard. That's one of the things you really have to learn. That's one of the things I think I finally learned it. Like, sometimes you're just going to suck. And then there's also the aspect of like, when you suck, your views get really low, and then you feel self-conscious about putting out content that gets like 10,000. Like, if you're a 2 or 3 million TikToker, but then you're getting like 10,000 views on a video, like, wow, like this video sucked. Like, why am I not funny anymore? And it's just like a whole thing. And then you add in the factor of like not enjoying the content that hits anymore. And then all of a sudden, it's just, it becomes like this really, there's a lot here. And like, I'm not trying to be all woe is me. This is fucking, it's social media. Like, I'm privileged to be as popular as I am. And I appreciate the fuck out of you guys. But there can be particular stressors when it comes to social media. It's really bad. It's really toxic. And especially for younger people, it's hard. It's much harder to deal with. Like, my experience with it is much easier to deal with than a lot of other people's experience, because 20-year-olds are going to deal with it worse than a 31-year-old. Like, I'm an adult. So like, it might stress me out, but like, I get over it. Like, I move through my shit. Like, younger people have a harder time dealing with it. It seems much more serious, which is one of those things too, is like, I realize that like TikTok is just a social app. It's not that big of a deal. So when you do get a lot of hate on it, it really doesn't matter. Like, when you really think about it, it takes a while to realize that, because you get sucked into the world of TikTok. People don't understand this. You get sucked into to like the sphere, the vacuum of TikTok, and you think it's real life. And that's that's the worst thing I think I ever did for myself, was I quit my job to become a social media influencer, because I for a long time I forgot that like, this isn't the real world. You really have to ground yourself. You really got to ground yourself into the real world. And part of it is like, when you become like more famous and you start making this your life, this becomes your real world, and you forget how little this matters, you know?
It's so toxic. TikTok is so toxic.
It's true.
I remember falling in love with this app because it wasn't toxic like Twitter. October 2019, I thought TikTok was just the new Vine. Now it's just politics, men and women hating each other.
It's true.
Like, where did we go wrong?
Honestly, it's always been a little toxic on TikTok, but it was never like extracted. I don't know. I think that like there is a culmination of different factors. One of the reasons why TikTok is so toxic is because a lot of people got really big off politics last year over the summer. People were home. They were talking a lot about social issues because everything was going on with George Floyd and BLM. It was a very popular topic. There was more watch time, so more smaller people would get more attention, because like, instead of a 50-minute watch time, people were on it for like 2 hours a day. So you're going to see a lot more back burner content creators like myself. I believe that's how I started, getting more forefront, because you're like, people are like, oh, what's this? And like, you're talking about a particular topic, you're getting different views and perspectives on different politics. And then up until the biggest thing is like, once Donald Trump was no longer president, I think a lot of us, myself included, we burnt out on, like, once Donald Trump wasn't president, we kind of all like dropped it. A lot of us like saw less interest in politics, and we, but then there was also, we saw less interest in politics. Consumers were less interested in watching politics. But then like, you're also still feeling inclined to make political content because you are a political content creator. Fortunate for me, like, I was also a satirical content creator, content creator, but still. And then, then what happens from that point is then people start trying to character assassinate each other, because now views are low when you just talk about politics. So now you need to be like politically entertaining by just trying to go after people for bullshit. And then you start creating controversy. You start trying to cancel people when they don't deserve to be canceled. And it became incredibly toxic, where like, you have people on the platform that they literally go out of their way to dox people now, even if because they don't agree with something. And that's what ends up happening. And then you add the financial factor in there, where it's like, okay, I need to make money on this app, because like, some people, they create a dependency on the app, and then they're being even more toxic. and then the money is low now, so now you need to be even, so like the views are going down and the amount of money you're getting paid per view is going down, so now people are really trying to start controversy and make all these big issues, and that's really what's going on TikTok. And the political aspect of that bleeds into other content creators, especially people who may have crossover. Acrello and I have crossover and fans, so he's going to bleed his that energy is going to bleed into him. Whereas somebody like fucking Charli D'Amelio dancing isn't going to experience the same thing. But even Charli D'Amelio herself was like, yeah, this app has become toxic and too competitive and like shitty. And like, I agree. I think TikTok is like it's kind of consuming itself based on all these factors.
Not to mention the fact that as a creator, I'm walking on thin ice. I can't make a mistake. If I make a mistake, my career's done.
That's what it feels like.
Mistake, and I'm a human.
And I know I'm doing a lot of commentary on this, but like that's something unique to Acrello, because I can make mistakes. I can get canceled and be fine. That's kind of just my platform. And there have been so many times where I've said something well-intentioned and I said it incorrectly, but you get a minute. So you say something and then you get feedback. You're like, oh, damn, like what I said wasn't what I meant to say. I meant to say this, but what I said was this. But you don't get positive feedback on TikTok, of course. So you get like a lot of hatred, negative feedback, and then it makes you more negative. It makes you more of a hateful person. And it makes it worse for people like Acrello, because Acrello has more, like, I would say, a more wholesome, that's what I say, content style. And so if God forbid, Acrello says something incorrect, he gets a lot more shit. He has a lot more long-term damage, because then he also, he may want to be palatable for advertising. I'm not, like, that's just not my brand, and I'm like lucky for that. But he may want to be palatable for advertisers, or he may want to be palatable for his own audience. And like, if he gets political in the wrong way, or if he, like, all of a sudden his audience might be like, oh my god, ew, because he probably has a lot of the boys. You know what I mean? And then you get groomed almost, or not groomed, but you get like kind of, you get encouraged by your particular followers to make a particular content style. And then that changes your content. There's so much, like, there's such a psychological aspect to this. It's crazy.
And I gotta deal with the fact, and I gotta deal with the paranoia that I could mess up at any time and lose my entire platform. TikTok's been banning creators out of nowhere.
That's true too. And they've been
happened to me. Everything I work for could be gone.
No, I will say one thing, like the blue check mark, it makes you a little bit safe there, Carlo. You're probably not as like fucked, but he's not wrong. Like, they're banning people and they're demonetizing the fuck out of people. I have made alternative accounts where I will get, I'll make an alt account. It'll take me a month to get into the creator fund. That's usually what happens. And then I'll get in the creator fund, and then I'll have 2 videos reported and pulled down within like maybe a week or so. They're not even hateful. People just don't like them because, whatever. They don't like me, whatever. And then I get pulled out of the creator fund. It's like, okay, well, I'm trying to make like a clips channel, for instance, to promote my stuff. And I would like to be able to make some money off the clips I put. And then, like, you understand what I'm saying? So that's also like frustrating mentally. That's why I have so many accounts, because I keep getting demonetized. And it's frustrating because like this is like my career now. So TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, these are the 3 ways that I make money.
You can have a video get 8 million views, and then the very next video gets 200K because TikTok is inconsistent. Then the moment you get 200K, everybody's telling you fell off.
Yeah, that's a big problem. So what I will say is that I think the best perspective you can have if you have a video that doesn't do well is just blame yourself in a healthy way. Be like, you know what? This video didn't do too well. It's just not what people like. Maybe also think about how maybe some people, while let's just say while generally people don't like the video, maybe your closer followers loved it. Maybe I just had a video that has like 4.4 mil. Everybody loves it, but maybe the next video I post only gets 150K, which it did. But maybe some people liked that more, and it creates a stronger like core base, which is why I don't beat myself up. But like when people tell you that you fell off, it's very annoying, because that the only power that there's some fans that like just don't like you because you changed this or that. And when you tell somebody that they fell off, you're trying to be hateful, and it does like fuck people up. It's like, Jesus Christ, like, it's just frustrating, and it's frustrating for multiple reasons. And the biggest thing that pisses me off when people tell me that I fell off is I can't respond. I can't tell you that like I can't be like, bro, just like fuck off. Like, you're a loser. Because that's what you are. If you tell somebody that they fell off, you're a loser. I can't tell you that you're a loser because then I look like a bad guy, you know, because you're much more is expected of you now because you're a big content creator. So if I call you a fucking asshole and a loser for telling me that I fell off, all of a sudden, well, I'm a bad guy. Why are you responding to that? It's probably just a kid. It's like, well, shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? And there's just so many issues with it. And it's just annoying, especially when you see a mass amount of people saying it. Sometimes you're just taking a little mental break, you know? And then people are like, oh, you fell off. And then when they say that, though, they'll say you fell off. Then other people might agree. And then all of a sudden, people like look at that. There are people who don't think that at all. Let's say somebody said you fell off, and that comment gets like 1 million fucking likes and like a bunch of views. Thank you so much for the sub, my man.
Electricevil_43 just resubscribed for
Hey,
4 months.
thank you so much. 4 months, my man. Appreciate you being here that long. But like, let's say one person says it, and it's like on a video, and it gets like 1,000 or a couple thousand like likes. It's like, okay, a lot of people saw that. So how many people now they didn't think you were falling off, but now that they said that they're falling off, now you're thinking maybe they're right. It's weird how you get impacted by like these social suggestions. You guys love the stream. I appreciate that, man. I really do.
Using me for money, and not too long ago, people went out of their way to disable my Instagram account.
That's
Ended
crazy.
up finding out where I lived, threatened to hurt my family. I've also been very depressed about how my body looks.
You look good, Acrello. I also think one of the things that you got to do is when you're on TikTok, don't link your social media to TikTok. Because a lot of times people dox themselves. It's like you link your Instagram and then you follow a particular amount of people, and then like, or you follow like maybe you have a business account or whatever, a celebrity account, but then maybe you follow your personal account, and then on your personal account maybe it's public, and then maybe you say that, hey, I went to Fart and Balls High School, and all of a sudden Fart and Ball High School is in fucking Kentucky, and then everybody knows that you live in Kentucky, and then you kind of just go down the rabbit hole. Some people have too much time on their hands. There are content creators who make it their entire content style to look into where you live to try to get you in trouble.
Gained 30 pounds since quarantine. With schoolwork and everything that's happening with my ex, yeah. Turned me to a very depressed person.
I'm not laughing at Acrello. Somebody in my chat's just like, yeah, Poppy, you really fell off. All right, fuck you, bro. You guys are pieces of shit. But yeah, quarantine was also depressing, and people gained a lot of weight. And then, like, of course, personal problems get exacerbated. I don't know if I'm mentally ready for TikTok right now. Talk to me on Instagram. I didn't know that he was feeling this shitty. Unless this is just one clever plug, but I don't think Acrello is that kind of guy. I should reach out to Acrello.
I'm thugged out, nigga, but I just seen.
Let me do that right now while we're making this video. Just give me like 2 seconds. Let's just find Acrello. I'm an old guy. AC Acrello. Acrello. Let's mess Instagram. Okay. Just taking me a couple seconds. So, man, how are you feeling? All right. Let's get back into this.
Ain't a mother.
Well, I'm feeling okay.
Fucking rainbow, nigga. I ain't that motherfucker thugged out, nigga. That's
What did you the N word, Carlo? No, I understand that too, because like I've like went through like a whole thing where I didn't want to post for a while, and then I stopped posting so much, and you get in a weird space where you're like, you know what, I'm going to take a break, and then like you don't though, because you feel like you can't. Maybe you're having like a good moment, and you're like, let me post something, and then it doesn't do well, and you're like, oh, negative feedback, and then it kind of just keeps you cycling through like your frustrations.
If anybody says that you're their Romeo or their Juliet, run. First of all, that is super cringy. But
All right, this guy's yelling.
anybody who says that does not know the story of Romeo and Juliet.
I guarantee you, Acrello was fucking stalking his ex again, and then she said that they were like Romeo and Juliet, and then he's fucking yelling.
They met each other, then 3 days later, killed themselves. They weren't even together for a year, not even a week. They had a
you notice he's like, they weren't even together for a year. My ex has only been with her boyfriend for a fucking month. What the fuck? You're saying you're Romeo and Juliet? You know what I'm saying?
3-day free trial, and then it was over. Like, this is the hood version of Romeo and Juliet. Romeo, Juliet dead.
Oh my god. I'm about to literally poison myself.
This poison bussin'.
Oh my god.
Such a lie. Romeo, oh my god. I can't live without you, Romeo, even though I just met you. Damn. Double homicide. If anybody said
Okay, that's silly.
getting my family
All right, so it looks like Acrello is coming back a little bit and he's having a little bit of fun.
Getting my family to say y'all. Noah, say y'all.
Yo.
I like that. Okay, Madeline, say y'all.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. All right, Joe, say y'all. Bro, come on, just say it. Let's try this again.
Yo.
I like that. All right, I need y'all to say y'all.
Yo.
You guys sound so bored. Put some emotion. Y'all. Make it sound believable.
All right, it seems like Acrello's doing a little better. You can tell when he uses
So this guy by the name.
when he uses his sound. So, well, hopefully Acrello feels better. Maybe he'll watch this video. Maybe it'll give him something to do while he's sitting and chilling. Papa, this guy really fell off. He's such scum pieces of shit. I fucking love you.
No way.
Oh, somebody already sent this to me. Hey everyone, if you liked that video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to follow my Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, Discord, and TikTok. All links are in the description. Also, check out my Patreon if you'd like to support me even more than you already do. Thank you so much, everyone. I love you all.